Welcome to another video. In this video, we're going to understand what is cardinality and what are relationships. There are different types of relationships like active and inactive. So first we'll understand what is cardinality. Cardinality is nothing but the distinct values in a particular column. One value of each primary key has many values of each foreign key. So we already spoke about joining a dimension table to a fact table, right? So where we use primary key from the dimension table and a foreign key in the fact table. So here what we are doing, we are joining two different keys. Whereas if you see, there is one value of each primary key has many values of each foreign key. That means we already understood that there's a primary key which is a unique values. That means it has only one unique value there. And there is a foreign key which has multiple values, right? So in that case, we are going to join this one value with those multiple values. Okay. There are different types of cardinalities. One is one-to-one, one-to-many, many-to-one, and many-to-many. So we'll just understand a bit of definition and just dive into the model. Okay. So one-to-many. In a one-to-many relationship, one unique value in the primary table corresponds to multiple values in the related table. This is a very most common type of relationship where, for example, each customer can have multiple orders in the orders table. Okay, so let us quickly navigate to the model. Okay, so if you look at the model, so this table, items table, is joined to the sales table, right? So what is the join here? If you look at the on the right side, it says sales table, right? Sales table. Let me just draw it. Sales table is joining to items table based upon item ID and this item ID. Okay, the other two item IDs. Okay, so what we are doing here is we are joining item ID and item ID, but there is some relationship. If you double click on the join, let me just minimize this. Well, let me double click on the join so that you will know what is the cardinality here. So here the cardinality is many to one. What is the many side? Many side is the sales table. So many to one. So what is the one side? Items. So if you look from item side, you can call it as one to many from here. Or if you look from sales table side, it is called as many to one from there, right? So either one to many or many to one, depending on the which table is put on the top, we call it as that side. Okay. So basically this one to many or many to one, what it does is if you look at this one to many from items to sales, each item ID here is unique in items table, right? Because items table is meant for having only item details, which again item ID is a primary key. What is a primary key? It will have a unique value or a distinct values. So each value here can have multiple item IDs here because different customers might have bought the same items, right? So you can see item IDs being repeated here in the sales table, which is a foreign key. So this is how we say one to many sides. So this one type of cardinality. So depending on the data in the table, we define the cardinality. Okay, we need to understand what kind of data here is. Most of the times automatically system will scan the column and show you the right cardinality. However, you need to make sure you have the understanding and make sure you are defining the right kind of cardinality. Okay, let's jump into the next definition. So again, the same one to many, if you look from the other side, we will call it as a many to one. Again, in a many to one relationship, multiple values in the primary table corresponds to one unique value in the related table. For example, multiple sales transactions can be associated with one specific product in the products table. So this example may be termed in a different scenario, but again, a table which has got multiple values sometimes pointed to the unique value. So we call it as a many to one. Okay. And again, we have something called one to one. In a one-to-one relationship, one unique value in the primary table corresponds to one unique value in the related table. That means both columns are primary. Okay. So somehow you are kind of joining those two tables. So this is very typical, scenario. This type of relationship is less common and is typically used when you want to separate large or infrequently used columns to a separate table for performance reasons or storage reasons. Okay. So in some scenarios, we don't want to club some columns together in the same table. Just for keeping them separate, we kind of separate it out. But still, we try to join them together, again, based upon some key. But in that situation, there would be mostly one-on-one key. There won't be like, one-to-many or many-to-one. So this is again, we do it very rarely, but this is one of the case, one-to-one. And there is a unique case called many-to-many. Many-to-many, we are not suggested to use many-to-many. In future, we'll be going in deeper into many-to-many, so that I'll give you some examples as well. But at the moment, many-to-many is not very much suggested.